What if I told you that becoming known as an industry expert in whatever it is you do isn't about having the loudest voice? It's about having, I'm going to call it the right rhythm. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to position yourself as a person who everybody wants to learn from without coming off salesy or pushy. The best part is you can start implementing these today, even if you're an introvert like me. Let's break this down into four simple parts that work together to build yourself as a professional authority naturally. You can take on this framework of becoming an expert. Here's how I do this. So every morning, I take 15 minutes. I scan 2 to 3 industry newsletters. I check relevant LinkedIn updates and I review one industry specific subreddit. And then every week, I read one larger detailed industry report. I listen to 2 expert interviews, either on a podcast or YouTube. I take notes on 3 key insights. And then every month, I spend a couple hours and combine all of these insights into a simple document. And I identify trends and spot gaps in the current industry. Right now, I'm doing this around the topic of data. That's a new area for me. I've done this before in the topic of product development. And then the step two, so the first step is learning, collecting, consuming information, collecting data, taking notes. The second step is sharing what you learned. This is where people kind of freeze up. They don't want to come off as an expert if they're not. But I'm going to show you how you can create this so that people actually are excited to hear what you have to say. There's literally 3 easy tips. Whatever you are producing or creating, make it practical, make it actionable, and give advice. And the best way to do this is through stories, either your personal experiences or experiences of others. If you have an industry insight, you're going to take that insight, you're going to put a story around it, either from yourself or someone else, and you're going to make that story practical to them and actionable to them. And some examples of this are how I solve something. Before and after kind of case studies are a good way that people do this, or a quick win checklist or template that someone could use. A lot of trend analysis breakdown is great. And creating things like problem solving frameworks, like if A, then B, then do C, stuff like that. I have done this a lot in the past by simply sharing inspirational quotes, motivational quotes that inspired me. By sharing them, I'm just inspiring others. And people then know that I'm very invested in my personal development and personal growth. I mean, that is that is easy, and that is a way to just be seen as someone that is a lifelong learner and seeking to grow. So whatever it is you're seeking to communicate out into the world, you can do it simply by doing some of these things we just talked about. Then, of course, we can't forget traditional kind of networking. As an introvert, I hate the idea of networking. It helps me to think of it as just conversations, being curious about other people. You go into every conversation from a standpoint of curiosity and connection and connecting on ideas. So how you might be able to do this, like on a daily, let's call it micro connection basis, is you can comment something meaningful to someone's LinkedIn post. You can answer one industry related question. You can share a helpful resource with a colleague. Like I talked about in the other previous videos, you're just helping people and you're just adding value, however you want to do it. These take 1 minute. You can go the next step and do a weekly event, do a weekly lunch and learn, get coffee with people, join a real industry discussion thread, like a subreddit thread, reach out to someone who you admire in the industry. Then, if you really want to step it up, you could host a monthly event, you could share a detailed case study, and you could offer to mentor someone else. So, any or all of these things can help you be seen as an authority in whatever way you want, which is so fun. Other ways to think of yourself as an authority is to make sure your LinkedIn is updated, your profile, and that it tells the story that you want it to be told. Have a professional headshot. Doesn't need to be expensive, just something that's professional, and have clear descriptions on how you help others. This is all about helping and adding value. And then you just share. Like I said, if you wanted to put real structure to this, you could say on Mondays, I share an industry insight. On Wednesdays, I share a helpful tip or a template. And on Fridays, I engage with a colleague or someone else in the industry to have a conversation. You could create a simple personal website. You could start a newsletter, even if it's monthly. You could record short videos like this. You could write how-to guides in your industry. I'm just spitting out things that you could do to become an authority because they're endless, really. You can document your journey. People love seeing the process. You see it everywhere. You see it in weight loss, where people document the ups and downs of their weight loss journey. You see it in physical training, where people are documenting and showing how they trained for a marathon or got muscles or whatever it might be. So you can document and share, and that can be so inspiring to someone. And you share your mistakes that you've learned along the way, because mistakes aren't bad. They're lessons that we learn. They're a thing that happens, and then we learn a lesson and we try something different. And sharing those can help someone else not fall into that. Another thing that can be really helpful, depending on your industry, is taking these complicated frameworks or complicated concepts and breaking them down to make them easy to understand. That is a way you can really add value and be an authority on that particular area. And it's best to offer real life, I'm calling them stories, but real life examples, case studies. So it's not just theory and people can get how they can use it. Here's how you're going to start becoming an authority tomorrow. You're going to pick one industry newsletter to follow. And I'm just calling it industry newsletter, call it whatever you want. One industry expert, something that you're going to choose to follow to do this learning part. And then you're going to choose one type of content to create weekly. It doesn't have to be a lot. It might be these little inspirational quotes like I did, or you're just going to comment on someone on LinkedIn. Whatever it is, be intentional about these things. Make sure that they go towards your goal of being an authority on whatever topic it is you want. But you're not just going to consume, you're also going to create. That's key. And then schedule one virtual or in-person coffee chat for the week, and then update your LinkedIn headline and an about section. Just look at it, make sure it's what you want to portray, and update it. Those are 4 easy things you can do this week, starting tomorrow, to get momentum and really creating this authority out in the world. And the key to this is consistency. So not intensity. It's not like do a lot of stuff. It's just like pick the stuff you want to do and just consistently do it. It's going to be fun. Tell yourself this is fun. You don't need to do everything. Just start with what feels most natural and then build on from there. Okay, so now it's your turn. In the comments below, share one thing you're going to implement this week. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2 of this series, check them out. They lay groundwork for everything we've covered and they build on each other. And hey, if you found this helpful, please share it with someone who could benefit. If you want to shine a light on your own money mindset, put quiz in the comments and I'll send you the free money mindset assessment. You can see where you're at, you can see where you want to go, and you can build from there. And remember, you have the power to change your financial future, and I'm here cheering you on every step of the way.